Hello everyone and welcome to a playthrough that I have been teasing for a long time. It goes back probably a few years ago when I first was talking about this and teasing about it. And let's just say I'm at a point where I decided I'm finally going to try and see if I can start doing this again. There's been this itch that I've actually been wanting to actually come back into this game and do this. I took a long break and hiatus, especially when I got more involved in World of Warcraft, because let's just say fully playing two MMOs at the same time is not probably the smartest or wisest idea. There has been a little downtime recently when it comes to WoW, and let's just say that I have been thinking that this would be a good time to kind of work on getting back into this, as well as the amount of story content that's here that is able for someone like me, a content creator, to go ahead and work on making here. So I have played through all the stories here before. I'll have little things, extra things here to kind of show off, having done so. And so, yeah, the intention is that I'm actually going to try and show you guys all 8 of these stories up to the vanilla version of Star Wars: The Old Republic, as opposed to where they go with it in the expansions and such. Like, that's basically the cutting off point for these playthroughs. So if you're thinking, are we going to be doing more so stuff with the expansions that they release afterwards? My plan is no. Basically, when we get to the end of the base story that this game first had, that's where we're going to be cutting off. Now, if you're wondering why now, well, it's actually the 10-year anniversary. It was earlier this year, but it's at the moment I'm recording this, it's the 10-year anniversary of this game coming out. They actually celebrated this by re-releasing the cinematics from when the game launched in like 4K high definition. So it was like, oh, okay, this is kind of a cool, fun event. Plus, it also lets us be able to take a look at how this game has grown and changed over a decade of it being out, because, oh boy, has it changed. Like, I was one of those who was playing it years ago, and boy, has this game gotten a lot of changes since then. So, in case you're wondering, this, of course, is the story of the Sith Warrior, who is an absolute death machine. The story is Champion of the Dark Side. An unstoppable force of darkness, the Sith Warrior is entrusted with the task of destroying the Empire's enemies and enforcing Sith domination across the galaxy. The warrior channels the destructive emotions of fear, anger, and hatred to purge weakness from body and mind and become a being of pure, brutal efficiency. Destined to eradicate the incompetent chaos created by the Jedi, the Sith seek to rule the galaxy through power and intimidation. The armies of the Sith Empire are trained to accomplish this task, but they require the leadership of bold Sith warriors, loyal and mighty overlords who will drive them to conquest and victory. Expect my Palpatine voice to show up from time to time, especially when we get to the Inquisitor. These cold-blooded conquerors waste no time with cunning manipulations and carefully crafted plans. Sith warriors crush their opponents and stride towards their goals with dreadful determination, leaving ruin and annihilation in their wake, emanating awe and terror at every stop. They accept nothing but absolute obedience from their followers. In turn, Sith warriors can serve as loyal subjects to their own dark masters, often surprising enemies and allies with their rigorous honor and perfect discipline. Whether they align their ambitions with those of the Dark Council or become renegades in pursuit of their own goals, they are never far from the action. Their fierce hatred of the Jedi keeps Sith warriors at the forefront of any conflict with the Republic. The passion to eradicate the Jedi Order fuels many of their actions, but that does not make them single-minded fools. Ultimately, the destiny of any Sith warrior is his own to choose, and woe to those who would stand in his way. working with others. Natural leaders in any context, Sith Warriors inspire both fear and undying loyalty into their followers and allies, though they rarely exercise patience for incompetence or indecisiveness. Warriors have realized the importance of strength in numbers in their war with the Jedi and have learned to accept and sometimes even encourage their comrades, whether they are like-minded Sith, ruthless bounty hunters, or others who embrace the darkness. So, it also gives you information on what your combat role is, especially if you have chosen... So, it used to be you would just choose the Sith Warrior, or the Inquisitor, or the Bounty Hunter, or the Agent. Now, they actually specifically have you choose the advanced role, the subclass, I guess, because it used to be you would pick Warrior, and then you would get to level 10, then you would choose your spec, which was either, in the case of the Warrior, it would be either the Marauder, which is the DPS spec, where you get to dual-wield lightsabers, or the tank spec, which is called Juggernaut, which is a single lightsaber, but you can wear heavy armor and such. So, in this case, it lets you be able to get an idea of what the Juggernaut does. You can pick a DPS spec when it comes to the advanced classes here. You can see here the advanced class selection for your class here, whether it be the Marauder, and you can choose either Annihilation, which of course is DPS, focuses on lowering the health of enemies, Carnage, or Fury. And you get to either have two lightsabers, medium armor, your main stat is Mastery, and you get Rage and Fury. Or the Sith Juggernaut, where you can be either a couple different DPS specs, Rage, Vengeance, or the tank spec. So, you get a lightsaber, a generator, and you get to wear heavy armor. So, they've changed how other things work, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. But, yeah. Just FYI, my main character has been the Sith Marauder, and it's been pretty fun. So, but I've been messing with the Juggernaut with a couple of characters I've made. So, yeah. And, yes, I did name him Mephisto, just because, hatred and such. Yeah, you get it. So, hopefully that's not a problem. Name unavailable. Never mind. That's definitely a problem. I'm not really that great when it comes to choosing names. My characters all have plays on the word Neeks. So it's hard for me to keep coming up with more of that, especially when the legacy surname is Neeks. So then it sounds very awkward, like Neeks, So that's why I was kind of trying to come up with some kind of, I don't know, other generic name here. So, Give me a moment here. I'm trying to think of a name here that has, I'm using other names in my head to figure out how to change that. There we go. I'm gonna turn the game sound down, because, as you can probably understand, Star Wars music is very easy to cause you to have to deal with copyright issues. Because you can imagine the the whole Star Wars thing. So anyway, I'll just read this to you while the music plays before we turn back up. The Sith Empire tightens its grip on the galaxy. The Galactic Republic and its Jedi defenders lie weakened and vulnerable after the Empire's successful military campaign. With a fragile peace negotiated, the Empire sends all potential Sith to undergo cruel and deadly trials at its academy on the harsh planet Korriban. Today, one of the Empire's most promising young warriors has been secretly summoned by an influential overseer to face the dark side trials much sooner than expected. Nope, still playing. Gotta wait for the text to disappear before I know the music is done. I do not need a copyright from Disney on the John Williams music. Thank you very much. I actually turned the music down quite a bit because it's throughout this entire game. Like, I'm probably going to have to turn it way down to avoid any music copyright issues. For the Empire. That was... Now, let me say that again. For the Empire! I'm sure people were ecstatic when they realized Korriban's a starting planet! You know, because of Knights of the Old Republic. One of the things I noticed right away when I replayed this was the camera angles for the cutscenes changed. The way they shot these cutscenes changed. If you've seen these from like 10 years ago, you'll notice the difference.
At last you've arrived. Good, good. There is much to do and every moment is critical. I'm Overseer Tremel. For decades, I've administered the trials that prove who is and is not worthy to join the Sith Order. The trials are a chance to weed out the weak. Those who face them either survive and become Sith, or die.
I think I'll take the first option.
I didn't bring you here for levity. Yes, you are here and ahead of schedule because of me. I expect you to obey. You face your trials, you serve me, and I will make you the most powerful acolyte here.
I'm really impressed at how they reshot these cutscenes. Because again, I've seen these cutscenes from how they were done, like when this game first came out a decade ago. And it was just straight up just like one like camera angle, and they just kind of like stood there or walked in that one camera shot. But here it's like moving camera angles and shots. It's just they actually reshot these scenes, and I'm really impressed by that. How much more thematic and cinematic the cutscenes in this game feel now, even more so than before.
You had better be able to deliver that, Tremel.
Leave your doubt at the door. There's no room for it in here, and no time to waste. The trials themselves are difficult enough, but they are hardly the greatest threat you face. There's an acolyte here named Vemrin. He's your enemy, and he will try to kill you. We must prepare you.
Let him try. I'll destroy him.
With my guidance, someday you'll destroy all your enemies. That practice sword you've arrived with is insufficient. The blade of lesser acolytes. You need a dominating weapon. In the tomb of Ajunta Paul, there's an old armory. A strong Sith warblade awaits you there. The tomb is thick with claw slugs. Deadly, savage creatures. Be speedy but careful. They've been the end of many an acolyte.
Ignore the, There we go. I'm gonna move it over here.
If they lack the instinct to avoid me, I'll feed them their heads.
Once you acquire the warblade, I suggest you spend some time in the tomb bloodying it. Then come to me in my chambers in the academy.
So yeah, they've added quite a few things here, as you can see. They've actually added login rewards. That's probably partly because of the huge break I took from this game, and they're like, hey, log back in and you'll get rewards. And, I'll, there we go. That's probably why I had it over here. Fortunately, general chat, as you can probably expect, is not like, oh gosh, turn it off, like in World of Warcraft, because that's usually my instinctive thing in WoW. It's just, oh crap, turn it off, Forgive me, I'm gonna try to, yes, of course, we are the dark side! But yes, we are definitely going, we are definitely doing a dark side run with the Sith Warrior. So in case you are curious, doing that to make sure I don't miss the right ones there. But as you can probably imagine, I have a certain path idea I want for certain characters in terms of, okay, these characters are going dark side, these characters are going light side. Now, doing the alternate is interesting, because doing a light side Sith is interesting, though, well, let's just say it's probably not as quote-unquote fun compared to doing dark side. In comparison to, say, if you were playing a dark side Jedi, which is quite amusing, I will say. You'll also get to see some other things here, such as this right here, which is a buff that my class can do, but because I have done the other stories, I have all of them. So you'll get to see, like, if you're curious, this is, yeah, that's my legacy there, level 41. I have all these global unlocks from doing the stories, all the different races that I've unlocked. There's a lot of stuff I've unlocked, and stuff that we'll probably be continuing to unlock as we go through these playthroughs. You'll be able to also see some other things here for my characters, such as character flair around my name tag, just to show, hey, legendary status, which is the thing that shows that you have done all the class stories, just to show it off to other players and such. And yes, there are still other players that do play this game, as some may find that odd, but it's true. So you'll see, there we go. That's for the time being. No, I do not need to do that. So I'm also gonna, yeah, see, he's got the last name there, my legacy thing, my icon that shows I'm a juggernaut, probably also a tank. You'll also see the legendary flare that I've got there. And I'll be able to add other things as well, such as not just abilities, but also just general stuff that, like the quick travel thing. Gotta have that. Other little abilities here as well. And mounts. Rocket boosts, and as well as mounts and such, so. You can see there's another player right there. Right off the bat, after you do the intro there, they give you something really cool. They give you a mailbox so you can be able to get things from here. And they've also been trying to make this more friendly towards players that mainly just want to play through the story and not have to do, like, the MMO stuff. I'll be able to show this off more once we actually get off Korriban and we get our own ship. But, like, other flight points will usually just kind of get unlocked for you, just so you can go straight there as opposed to having to do the old MMO way, which is run there and then discover it and unlock it before you can actually use it again. Because I've been seeing it even on new characters that you can just unlock it, have it unlocked right from the get-go. So you'll also see it's got a lot of mail. A lot of these things are just like rewards from, like, hey, you were subscribed here, or hey, you got the expansion, here you go, just other things like that. Just like stuff to add to your collection when you don't even necessarily need to, because I can be able to pull it up from the collections thing, which is something I do plan on doing as well. Or just something I plan to do, excuse me. Just, hey, congratulations, or hey, you've done this, hey, here's this, hey, here's that, all these sub rewards and all that. Yeah, this is stuff that, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and actually cut off part 1 right here. We've just arrived. I'm going to go ahead and sort out some stuff here. Just settings, such, get the mail and such, the gear and other things. I'll work on that, and then we'll return to continue our story, to find our Warblade and see what Korriban has in store for us. Stay tuned.